This is CJ's Dream Garage. In this video we'll be comparing two Minichamps BMW M3s. The one on the left is a door opening, all doors open, hoods open, and trunk opens. The one on the left is sealed and has no openings. And you can see here that the number of the SKU is right there, so you can know which one you're ordering. If you're really wanting the open one, it does have beautiful opening doors and a different color interior, as this one here shows. The only difference is there's a lot more gaps between the doors and the bodywork. It's not too pronounced on this one. It's better than, say, like a Solido, but it still has gaps, and the back door in particular looks the most wide gap between the door and the body. Other than that, they look very similar. They're both a die-cast metal in terms of the frame of the car or the bodywork, and so it does allow for a bit of nuance in terms of the opening doors, but of course it costs extra money to do that, and so I think it's about $100 more at least, if not more, for the open doors, trunk and hood. But both of these are amazing die-cast models. The one here, you can see the doors are sealed and it has a much tighter look, maybe closer to what you'd see on the real car. And so even the trunk here, you can see the one on the left is the sealed version by Minichamps, and the trunk gap is much smaller as compared to the one on the right, which is the full doors open and trunk open and hood open version. But both of these have the same rims and the same tires, which look amazing. The design on these and the intricacy of them is just amazing to me. I don't even know how to describe them, but multi-spoke, kind of like multi-tiered looking, but with the red calipers underneath and the cross-chilled rotors underneath, and very low profile tires with that visible tread wrapping around the edges. Both of them have beautiful grills with that kidney shape grill, the newer one for these 2020 models, and the headlights with those blue interior lights that make it look like eyes staring at you are just gorgeous, as well as the side profile. I just love how that muscular ridge comes up from the bottom, from behind the front tire, and rides up the doors there. I just love these kind of sedans with the rich and strong lines on them. The front again has that kidney grille with the BMW logo right in the middle at the top, and those amazing headlights that give so much depth and aggression, but also the vents underneath that are beautiful molding contoured around those vents, and the splitter is kind of built in, but has that great look. And then wrapping around the side is that black sill or skirt around the bottom. And you can see here that M3 symbol just behind the front tire, inserted in black, is a good look as well. And then that beautiful black skirt along the bottom there shines nicely in this light. But the doors have handles that are inset, and of course on both models, this one you can't open the doors at all, but on the one you can open the doors, you can't actually put your fingernails in there and pry it open. You have to use a tool. They are quite sticky doors. But you can see just the detail here with the little taillights on the back here, looking very nice with the red and the clear parts, the BMW logo and the M3 symbol, and the dual exhaust on both sides, and just that diffuser that's quite large. You can see a bit of the muffler underneath. This is the one that is all opening, and you can see the SKU number there by Minichamps again. This BMW M3 is another lovely one. This one in particular I was really wanting, because this is the first BMW M3 with that metallic green, Isle of Man green I believe it's called, and it had that kind of orange brown interior that looks so contrasting and cool with the green. That's the first car that I actually spotted BMW M3. I think it was probably a competition, but nonetheless, it's the same kind of series, maybe a different year. But this one, all four doors open, as well as hood and trunk, with a little bit more gap to give that. But when you open it, it has that great look of contrast with that stark orange-brown interior, that leather. I've actually sat in the real one in a dealership, and it just smelled great, looked great. I couldn't get over just how beautiful it was. I think I spent about an hour and a half just videoing it and sitting in it and observing just the details and the stitching, the BMW lights that light up inside on the seats. And yeah, here you can see that dual exhaust on each side, the muffler, the exhaust system underneath, the diffuser there, the back bumper with those little indent holes for access to take off the bumper, and then just all the BMW M3, all those symbols, and then that powerful side view with that powerful skirt and the line coming up from the wheel. And so just overall, I feel like Minichamps really did a good job of this one. I'm so happy that they decided to produce this car in both forms. I had a bit of trouble knowing which one to buy, and so I just bought them both, along with another 118 scale top speed. It was a little bit different in terms of the way they presented it. The tires were much thicker. The rims looked a little bit different, but they did have a BMW M3 license plate on the back that looked really sharp, in contrast with the green surroundings. But as you can see here, these cars are identical, but what I wanted to point out is just the difference between the gaps of the open model versus the sealed model. Some might prefer open doors all the time. I find that I do prefer open doors, but sometimes you just can't get a model for the price you're looking for. But the benefit of the sealed models is oftentimes you don't have to deal with the clunkiness of the doors, but also the doors that don't fit. I find that any model that is in this category, like you're paying so much money for it and still not completely satisfied with the doors. I find companies like Auto Art, for example, have much more precision in their doors, and maybe it's because of the composite material they use, but just a lot less gaps between the doors and the body, and a little bit easier closing doors as well. These ones really smack shut, and I think they might even have magnets to suck them in and to keep them flush, which isn't a bad thing. I like a good solid closing door, but it just makes it a little bit more tricky to open as you have to use a tool. And sometimes I'm just a little apprehensive using the tool because it could still scratch the ends of the doors or break the plastic. I find the back door in particular in this one very hard to open, and sometimes having to pry it from above where the window is and risking breaking the window. So inevitably I try not to open it too much. You can see the trunk here actually kind of doesn't shut fully. It's not a perfect fit there on the left of the open door Minichamps, but this one here on the right, as you can see, it's just the trunk's very pristine and has that little line. Of course it is open, but it just has a better pleasing look to the eye. And all those lines on the doors, especially the back, are just very clean, very tight. Whereas the one that opens, you can see definitely a fairly large gap on that back door in particular. But yeah, the beauty of the open door one is that you can sometimes have it on display with the doors open and show that contrast to the interior and the beautiful color and design of it. Whereas the Minichamps with the sealed, I believe it's only black in terms of the interior. I did find that even the sealed version, they did end up making it more tinted windows as well. I did find that the hood, you can barely see a little bit here more of the gap, that blackness. It doesn't fit completely down, but it's not a significant gap. But you can definitely see the black line there of the blackness underneath as you lift it up a lot more. And here's a better view of that interior and just the beautiful color it is and how it makes a contrast. And once you open it up and look in, it's even that much more stand out. And so yeah, just a beautiful job. Probably one of the best I've seen on an interior in a Minichamps, in terms of the detailing and just how it, the colors aren't mixing with each other or blending in, but they're very distinct. I think I have another BMW M4 that I'll feature on this channel as well that also had that same pattern on the seats with that orange and then the darker pixelated centerpieces, and also some carbon fiber. And so, yeah, it's just a beautiful job. And I've always admired when model makers can make these precision painted seats, or I don't know how they make them necessarily. Maybe it's all in the molding and the coloring of the mold. And so when they put it together, it doesn't bleed into each other, but has a very succinct or distinct look from each other and very clean lines. So yeah, like I said, the trouble I had with first seeing this model starting to be released at different companies, because I'd seen the car in real life and really liked it, I decided to go for the top speed at first. It came in. It's also resin, I believe, and no doors open. It does have a great look, but it's just a bit different in terms of the presentation. And like I said, it has thicker tires. I ended up taking the thicker tires off and putting thinner ones on that I just had extra spare tires from 1/18 scale. They don't fit perfectly, but they do fit such that it looks like it does from the outside. It's just a little overset on the wheel in the inside. But yeah, secondly, I bought the Minichamps, that sealed model here, because it came into one of my local stores. The only problem with that one is, and sometimes I regret sometimes the production process, but I think because it's a sealed model, a lot of debris kind of got strewn about inside the windshield especially, and kind of there's a lot of like dust or something, or just fuzz stuck to the screen, the windscreen. So I've tried and attempted to take it off the bottom to get access to it, but I don't have the right tiny screw bits to take that apart, and I'm a little leery of doing that. I've tried taking different models apart and ended up breaking parts of it, or just being frustrated at the process, and so I've decided just to leave this one intact. I'm sure it'll definitely be a bummer if I ever have to sell it. Kind of be a deterrent for people to see the fuzz inside the windshield, but I just decided to keep it for now, as it is just a better sense of look for the aesthetics of no lines between the doors and the body, and so that's kind of what I'm sticking with there. And I've also had the top speed. I am considering selling it, because you can only have so many models of one car, but I've sometimes enjoyed just collecting the same model production, like M3 here, BMW M3, by various different die-cast manufacturers or 1/18 scale manufacturers, just so I can see what the differences are and see where different companies excel. And so I hope that's a good overview for you and gives you a sense of the same manufacturer but making two different varieties, which is pretty amazing actually. It gives you two different entry points to get this model. I've compared in the past, like say a Solido versus a resin model by Otto, and those are more stark in terms of their differences because the quality of Solido is a little less than an Otto. But here you can see these are both Minichamps. They both are made by the same company, have the same cast or same mold, but different in terms of the door openings and the sealed model. But you can see that the gaps are definitely more significant, but maybe not that significant if you really love the doors being open, which I do. And so I want to thank you for watching this video and hope it's helpful to you in your collecting and your die-cast additions to your collection when you're thinking about it. So thanks for watching and have a good one.